someone with all your
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hello, how you doing? It's been a while, I think it's been like a month or something since I uploaded, which is not very good of me, very bad of me. I'm just gonna basically slap myself on the wrist here because that is very bad, okay? Hopefully, you know, in the upcoming months it's just gonna be like more and more regular uploads, and we're just on schedule every Friday. There's a video from me. So, in today's video we're gonna be talking about 10 healthy habits that have absolutely changed my life, like so much. And these 10 things have absolutely just changed me as a person, has made me definitely into a better person, and I just live by these. I've got them all written down because there's quite a few, and I wanted to share them with you. It's not my typical fitness video as much, but it's such an important, or such a big part of my life that I just really wanted to share. So here I am, not that anyone asked, but I'm here anyway. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into all of the things that have changed my life. So I really hope this video helps you out as well. If you're looking to make 2022, God, I can't believe we're in 2022. How has time gone by so fast? But just basically, hopefully these will help you guys make 2022 a really great year as well, a very productive year. So that's what this video is for. I don't know if you want to see it, but if you do, here we go. So numero uno, probably the top thing in this whole entire list. This is no mystery or secret, but it's weightlifting. I started weightlifting when I was 15. And it was kind of on and off for a while, and then I really picked it up a few years later and got very dedicated to it. There are a couple of years where I'm definitely a lot less perfectly determined with it, but I have found that over the course of the past few years, whenever I am just really training frequently and really being dedicated to at least going like a minimum of like twice a week, my life is so much better. I feel healthier, I feel happier, and weirdly I actually eat better as well. I feel like when you are training and when you are putting in that much work in the gym, it just makes sense when you get back home that you then also supplement that with like a healthy meal. So weightlifting has changed my health in general, to my nutrition, to my actual physical health, from, you know, being stronger and being able to have more balance and just little things like that in the day-to-day, in my day-to-day life. Like I get tired less easier, I can go on much longer walks, my stamina is so much higher. It makes you feel just great. I just love weightlifting, not purely for the physical appearance part of it. I think that it's really nice to have those goals as well in the gym, but the actual health side of it and how you feel after training for a while, it really gets my mind straight. And usually, one thing I found is that when my life is going very good, there's a usual correlation between that and me going to the gym quite frequently. It's been a life-changing thing for me, especially the years where I'm very dedicated towards it. Talking about weightlifting, there's actually something very big that I want to announce in this video. Basically, I am coming out with my own fitness app. Woo! Confetti, yay! I've been working so freaking hard on this app and all of the content inside of it. I'll talk more about this at the end of the video as well, but basically this is a subscription app where like new content will consistently be uploaded onto there, full-length YouTube video type style videos in there as well. You're never just like, you're not just buying one plan and then just having that. You're constantly receiving more content. You have so many plans to choose from to suit your goals, whether your goal is weight loss, whether your goal is gaining muscle, gaining a bigger peach, there's pretty much everything in there. So if you want to join, the first entire month is just $1. So yeah, link will be down below in the description. Moving on. Okay, number 2 is basically like reading and listening to Audible. So I tried to pick up reading a long time ago, and I find it really hard to just basically stay still and do absolutely nothing and read for like an hour or two. Like I can do it sometimes, but it's hard for me to stick to it and do it every single day. But then I discovered Audible, and this is not an ad at all, like I wish it was. Audible, please sponsor me. I adore Audible, I just love it. I genuinely listen to it every single day. I've actually been reading at the moment the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Surely one of my favorite books. Like I think I'm 3/4 of the way through it and I can already tell it's one of my favorites. It doesn't just cover work productivity, but it also covers how to be a better human in general, looking at people's paradigms, like people's realities. Like everyone has their own reality, and it's important to kind of take yourself out of your own reality and put yourself into someone else's before you judge them, before you know, take action. Self-help books I usually focus on to do with work and productivity and lifestyle, and I think it's always good to better yourself. We aren't perfect beings, no matter how much we try to tell ourselves that we might be, we're just not. Audibles and just reading in general has changed my life, opened my mind up to so many different alternate ways of thinking, alternate ways of doing things, and that really broadens like your own horizons, so you're not just focusing on the ingrained way you have of thinking that you've had throughout your whole life. You're really expanding your mind, and that trickles down to everything in your life. That trickles down into the way you work, the way you live day to day, the way you interact with people. It has by far like transformed my life in the past year, and just who I am as a person. So I would highly recommend to pick that up. The third one, which very much relates to this one, is podcasts. So again, I used to listen to music constantly throughout the day. Like every time I was doing anything, it would just be music on in the background. I wasn't really learning anything while I was doing like menial tasks, like cleaning my house or eating breakfast, doing my hair. I was just kind of bopping along to music, and don't get me wrong, I still love music for certain situations, but I really try to instead now put a podcast on, because you don't really have to do much thinking while you're doing your hair or doing your makeup. So I really just love to listen to a podcast. Now I'm actually, you know, getting something from doing those menial tasks, whereas before it was just more of a waste of time than it had to be. And I've learned a lot throughout those times as well. There are some amazing podcasts out there. Mine. Okay. No, but obviously there's some really other good ones as well. Like I love listening to Modern Wisdom, is amazing. Stephen's one, which is what was it? Successful People or something? Something like Diary of a CEO. There it is. Diary of a CEO. I'll stick some down in the description box that I really like to listen to. But these are all podcasts that are based around, you know, work, psychology, lifestyle, self-help, mental health, fitness, just a huge variety of topics. Yeah, I found that this is really helpful. It's definitely changed the way I use my time and has made my time a lot more efficient. The fourth thing that has changed my life, and that is basically personal and emotional growth. So this also links into the reading factors in the podcast, but this is a bit more of a personal one, I would say. The growth of the self, just learning how to really take myself out of my own body almost and look inwards as like a third person and see the little voice in my head and what it's actually saying. What thoughts are healthy thoughts and what thoughts are very negative. Just kind of really being a weight on me and not letting me be my best self. I think it's very easy to get swept away by everything and the hecticness of life and everything that's going on, and we forget to look inwards sometimes and just realize, like, let's say you're having a work day and you're having just a really bad day and everything is just not going right, and we never stop to think that we might actually be the cause of it. Things might happen on the external world, so things might happen outside of our control, but we have control, complete control over ourselves. That is the one thing in the world that we have complete control over, is our mindset. If we're having a very negative mindset, the day is going to go even worse. But if you have a very positive mindset about things and you look at things with a glass half full kind of perspective, it's actually shocking once you start to practice that, how many more happy days you have. I am not perfect, I am not there yet whatsoever, but the journey to get there has been an amazing one and has changed the way I view situations. And along, like within that category, I've also been doing some therapy. If you guys would have seen, I do therapy podcast episode where I talk all about the therapy aspect of things. It's been extremely helpful, extremely good to self-reflect with someone and speak to someone that has no relevance in your life. Absolutely zero judgment, because they don't know you, they only know what you're telling them, and they're not involved in your life in any way, so you don't have to feel scared about saying anything to them. You can just speak freely. But I've just been doing therapy online basically, and it's been really helpful. It's been really good. Along with that as well is emotional control, like I was talking about before. There's so much to dive into in this category. Like this, I could talk for hours, but we're gonna try and like summarize things a little. Basically, thinking before you react. It's so easy to do anything in like an emotional reaction, and we don't realize how much power our emotions have over us in terms of even the smallest of decisions. And that isn't always the best thing to do, because you really want to make things that are logical and not just in the heat of the moment, or if you're upset or if you're sad, or we want to think things through and have logic to our decisions and the things that we do. And that's something I've really strived to learn, being very emotionally mature. But yeah, it has been life-changing to just really hone in on those skills. The next one that kind of relates to this as well is meditation. Meditation. I've had my fair share of like on and off with meditation over the past few years, and I never took it seriously. I was like, why am I sat silently just doing absolutely nothing? Like, how is this gonna help me? But I have really gotten heavily into meditation in the past year and doing it almost daily. So I would do it for at least like 10 to 15 minutes or so. I've gotten into it because I've started to actually see how it's helping me and see what it's doing. And you might be asking, okay, please tell me, what is it then? Like, explain what it is. Meditating really helps you to distance yourself from your thoughts, because I really truly believe that you are not your thoughts. Like the thoughts that come into your head, that little voice that keeps talking to you and being like, what are you doing? Do this, do that. Like, you are not that. They're just thoughts, you know? Especially, I've dealt with anxiety. I wouldn't say it's anything extreme, but it's definitely would keep me up at night sometimes, or I would just get every so often. I think I've only had 3, but I would have panic attacks. If you've ever had a panic attack, you know that they are very much not a nice experience. It almost feels like you're completely out of control when they are happening, or when you're going through something, let's say you're depressed or you're this or whatever is going on with you. It genuinely feels like it's happening to you and you have no control over it whatsoever. But our minds are the most powerful thing in the whole entire freaking universe, and it's all mental, it's all in the brain, it's all just up there. And realizing that, accepting it, is when you can finally start to do things about it and change that. Since I've done all this, I've not had one panic attack. I obviously haven't had many anyway, but they all kind of happened like within the past 2 years. I've not felt extremely anxious in a very long time. I feel like I have a lot more control over my own mind, over my own emotions, my feelings, how I react to things. Just, I feel so in control of myself. Meditation has really helped with that, because it's really helped me to distinguish and observe my thoughts in a kind of like an almost third-party presence. It sounds ridiculous, but I swear to God, it's a crazy experience once you really get into it and you just observe yourself and observe what your brain does. You don't even realize the thoughts you have until you pay attention to them, until you observe and self-reflect and really pay close attention to yourself. You want to be proactive, not reactive. I feel like a lot of people, most people, I'd say 99% of people are extremely reactive with their emotions, with their actions. They react to things happening to them. They're not proactive about things that they want to happen to them. Focusing on what you can control is the biggest lesson of all time, because that's really where you start to put your attention into things that you can actually change, not just waste all your time complaining and worrying and stressing about things that are completely out of your field of control. Okay, now moving on to something a little different other than the self-help stuff is nutrition. Well, this is all kind of self-help things, but nutrition. Nutrition has been a massive part of my fitness journey since I began. I've been, you know, reading more up on nutrition, understanding it more, but I feel like in the last year I really started to understand it. Like I knew, you know, certain things to eat to get the results I wanted. All of that made a lot of sense to me, but understanding nutrition as a whole and how much actually impacts your body, not just in a fitness sense, but in every aspect. Like even your mind, how happy you are, everything has a link to nutrition, and it's mind-boggling to me how it works. Like experimenting with it and seeing the differences myself has been crazy. I did an experiment actually where it was like 2 weeks, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, and basically half of that time I ate very low nutritious foods basically. So I ate just pasta and pizza pretty much every day, and crisp cereal for breakfast, like hardly any vegetables, hardly any greens, chocolate all the time, like, and just kind of kept it that way for a week and a half. And then the next step into that was the week and a half after. I ate very clean. I still had my treats here and there, but my overall diet was much cleaner. The sugar was much less. I had a lot of, you know, sushi, a lot more vegetables, a lot more fruit, a lot more water. Just the foods I was eating was very high in vitamins and nutritious qualities. But wow, I was shocked. Like the difference it had on my body was insane. My energy levels on the healthy week per se was insane. Like I didn't even need coffee in the morning. I was just up, ready to go. My sleep was amazing. Like this needs a whole video. I can't explain all this in this segment. So I would say nutrition, especially after doing that, it really opened my eyes to not just eating for my fitness goals, but eating for my general health as well. And now that I've mentioned it here, I'm actually very excited to show you guys that experiment on YouTube as well. So let me know in the comments if that's something you also want to see. Number 7 is something a little bit more to do with, I guess, your personal life as well. And this one is setting personal boundaries. I was definitely not very good at having certain boundaries in place with certain things. Having personal boundaries with your family, friends, neighbors, dogs, relationships, whatever it may be, is very important and has taught me a lot also in the past year. And this can be for anything. This can be for absolutely anything that you want to set a boundary for. There are certain rules that I've made for myself of things that I am not willing to do or don't want to do, things that perhaps someone does to be disrespectful, and whatever it may be, I will create a boundary in that situation. I'll be like, oh look, like I don't feel like I'm being treated very well in the situation, I'm gonna leave and I can talk to you at another time when you're treating me a little better. Or for example, if it's a financial situation, let's say a family member is very persistent with making you pay for everything, and you have a tendency to just say yes all the time. You go like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that right now, or I'm sorry, this is just like a boundary of mine, like, you know, I can't keep paying for everything. It's hard for me to give you many examples on this because it's such a personal thing. Like your boundary could be worlds different from mine, so it is up to you to just kind of look through the things that you're accepting and you're not okay with, and draw a line, make a limit for yourself, make a boundary for yourself, and present that boundary to the other person. Make it very clear and stick to it. That has also changed my own self-esteem and my well-being in general. I think it's important to put yourself first in most scenarios. So yes, a little bit of a quick one there. Number 8 is improving 1% each day. Now, I read Atomic Habits and I absolutely loved it. I think it was very mind-opening. But basically, instead of trying to, you know, let's say you're gonna start the gym and you're like, starting tomorrow, I'm gonna go to the gym every single day, even though you've never been to the gym before. Or let's say you're used to eating a lot of junk food and you're like, starting tomorrow, I'm not touching a single bad, unhealthy thing ever again. You have to sort of be realistic with your goals, because doing something like that isn't sustainable. The rule of improving 1%, if you can just improve 1% each day, for example, instead of just leaving, let's say your house is a mess, and you leave it in a mess most of the time, and then suddenly you're like, I'm just gonna clean the whole entire house, and then you continue on, but then your house just gets messy again, so you have to do the same thing over again. Whereas if you improve 1% each day, it's like every single day I'm going to just tidy a little corner of the house. It'll take 5-10 minutes. Every single day I'm going to do that. And every single day you're also improving a little bit more. So maybe you're spending a couple extra minutes just cleaning up every single day. And it'll get to a point maybe months in the future where your house is just constantly clean and you don't need to spend like hardly any time every day cleaning, because all it takes is just the 5 minutes that you clean and your house is just back to where it was again. So it's more of like implementing the habits rather than these life-changing scenarios which are very hard to stick to and not very realistic and don't implement actual good habits for you to keep following along. As long as you're better than the day before, that's all you need. Just be better than yesterday. And if that's with cleaning, if that's with the gym, whatever it is, if you're trying to fix your diet. I hope I explained that well, because that's like a tricky one to explain. Small improvements every day is better than working yourself into the ground one day and then taking a week off. You really want to slowly make little adjustments, little habit changes that will over time build to be, you know, compound effect into something much greater. Number 9, number 9. Number 9 is working towards things that you want to accomplish. So we can get very distracted by the day-to-day activities, just day-to-day life in general. The world is distracting, social media is distracting. TikTok, for example, I was on there a few months ago and I looked at the time to begin with, and it was like 4 p.m. and by the time I got off, I swear it was like 9 p.m. The fact that I had just spent that many hours scrolling mindlessly through TikTok, like, it's honestly just bewildering to me how we can spend so much time on things that help us get absolutely nowhere. Like, the only times I'll go on social media is when I need to work. I will try not to mindlessly scroll on there for ages because it just doesn't do me any good, doesn't help me, doesn't even like help my work at all. I'm usually just watching funny stuff, which isn't really gonna help at all. So yeah, I've really learned to focus on a goal that you want to achieve. What are those things that you need to get done on a daily to weekly to monthly to yearly basis in order for you to achieve those goals? So this is like goals and time management. Try to manage your time the most effectively you can. If you want a break and if you want to watch a movie, if you want to go to the cinema, spend time with your friends, those things are absolutely fine. But it's when you do it intentionally that it's fine. Like, if you're intentionally being like, okay, cool, I'm gonna have an hour break now watching my favorite Netflix show. Amazing, awesome, you're intentionally having a break. But when we get distracted with the little things in the day, like procrastinating on TikTok, we end up in these like loops of just hours wasted on things that we're not intentionally trying to do. But it's hard, and those moments take up so much more time than we realize. So yeah, that's my tip number 9, is to try and be very aware of the little traps in the day where you're wasting a lot more time than you realize you are. And like very meaningless time as well, that's just taking away from the things that you actually want to be doing in your life, whatever that may be. Number 10, finally at the end here of our very long list. Number 10 is always be kind. This is something that I've also learned through the emotional development. Basically, it's important to be kind no matter what situation you're in, no matter what the person is acting like. Always be kind. You don't know what the person's going through. If it's even like a random person on the street and they're mean, just ignore it. Just be nice. Just be like, look, I hope you have a nice day. Have your boundaries. I'm not saying be a yes man and be a pushover. Have your boundaries, but be kind in everything you do. Everywhere in life, it does not hurt anybody to be kind, and it can genuinely turn someone else's day completely around. It can just make you feel like a better person as well. Even if it is a selfish thing, be selfish by being kind, because if someone's shouting at you and you react by shouting back, you're lowering yourself into a state where perhaps you didn't really want to be in, you know, that's not your morals. You don't want to be a person that is mean to people. You don't want to be a person that is reactive. You want to be someone that is nice and that is kind and that is stable and that is calm and collected and just has their shit together, you know? It's just nice to be kind. So yes, that is it for this video. Again guys, if you do want to sign up to my fitness app, which I'm very freaking excited about, it's only a few days away now, but that is coming out on Monday the 10th of January. It is a monthly subscription and you can start your first month for just $1. You have access to the entire app, all of my content, plus thousands and thousands and thousands of other workouts and other guides on there for just $1 for your first month. If you do want to check it out, the link is down below in the description box. Cannot wait to see your reactions and hear everything you have to say about it. Please do let me know if you have any questions whatsoever, or just DM me, drop me a direct message on Instagram and I will answer all of your questions regarding the app and everything you need to know. And yes, I'm very excited and I hope you guys love it. I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. This was quite a long video, but I hope it really helped you for 2022. And I will see you guys hopefully next week or the week after. Bye-byes! Bye-byes!